Yes. William Birkin, you are first. First and only so far. Oh yeah. I was trying to remember what this episode is called to tell you why you're the only one here. No, it's pretty exciting. Ceasefire in Gaza. Trump did it. So I'll bring you that news. People admit it. The Israelis say it. So we'll bring you that news. People are rejoicing around the Middle East. Very excited for the Gazanese people who aren't allowed to leave their country. I think I found out today. I've heard it was an open air prison, but I didn't know for sure why. I guess the border, they're a country, but the border's closed on the Israel side and the Egypt side. So they actually can't get out. Is that true? Not me, Gazagians. I'm sorry. Thank you for the correction. Gazagians. The Ganzanese. Bitcoin's doing okay today. Over 100,000 again. It's actually up significantly, up $4,000 today. Wow, very exciting. It's going to be a big year probably for cryptocurrency still. It's been taking a break ever since like after the election, but that one coin that people like, it's called Ripple XRP. It was really up. So I hope you guys are doing well with cryptocurrency and your investments. I hope you are surviving the economic squeeze that will continue. I hope you are thriving in this environment. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible you're here specifically because you're good when the world ends, but like you're not really that great for when things are normal. So like you don't fit in and stuff right now, and nobody thinks you're great or anything right now. But when it's the apocalypse time, that's when you get turned on. You're like, oh, I'm ready for this. This is what I was built for. And then people finally celebrate you for your gifts, which they were unaware of before the apocalypse happened. So, yes, that's why you're here. So just rejoice, be glad, praise God, survive till the day comes when you will be a hero. You will save the world. It's possible. Oh, there's news. There is news. Oh, yeah, the Middle East news. Yeah, I'll show you guys that. Ceasefire. 33 hostages being released in the first batch. So they didn't even get all the hostages. And it's a temporary ceasefire. But Trump can take credit for it. He'll probably end the thing in with Ukraine, too, I'm guessing. Well, he's just got to cut off the money to Ukraine. So we're entering into an age of peace and prosperity forever. Do you think that's possible? See, I just don't know. They say your suffering will end, but I don't know if that's possible. Because if we don't have the suffering, then I just noticed that people get used to stuff, their situations and so forth. They get accustomed to it pretty quickly. And then they're depressed just like everybody else, even if they're rich. So we need the suffering, the pain. So what is heaven? Must it include evil or at least anxiety? So you can feel better sometimes. That's what life's about. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know. Do you think we live in heaven right now or hell? I was thinking maybe like we're souls, it's maybe a prison planet possibly. And like this is extreme as they can get. Like we're the worst offenders. So they put us on Earth where people have free will. which means they can kill each other and make people suffer. And that's like our punishment for doing something terrible in our previous lives. We're stuck here. And then we get recycled over and over again to suffer more. I have Pete Hegseth kind of dunking on Elizabeth Warren. All these ladies went after Pete Hegseth in his confirmation hearing. So I have a compilation of that. Ladies screaming at Pete Hegseth. He wasn't, I don't know. You guys watched the hearings? Probably not. I did kind of. I tuned in. There were two going on at the same time today. Mark Rubio, who I think everybody likes. Mark Rubio, and then Pam, is her name Pam? Bondi. She told Adam Schiff off today, so I have that. So I'll review the hearings. As for the fires, I was told in advance that it would be windy today, but I have not seen much new information about the fires. Just that, they were bad so far. So far, they've been bad. I don't know if they've gotten worse, but you guys could give me an update on that. So what do I have? Some hearing stuff. Oh, Bill Burr says Los Angeles did a great job responding. Megyn Kelly says all her woke friends are going to vote Republican now. That everybody in California is going to vote Republican because of the fires, basically. That's the story. That's the narrative so far. All right. And everything else I promised. Here on the Lift the Veil Show. Thanks for being here. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman, and I bring you the news, the real news. Do you think time travel is possible by humans? It must be possible. These other things out there, they might do it somehow. We can teleport things now. Have you heard that in the news? Yeah. And then there's quantum entanglement, which means that distance doesn't matter between things, which is kind of like time travel. What would you do? What would you do if you could time travel? Would you go forward or backwards? Like, that's a real question. That probably reveals something about your personality. If you could, would you go forward or backward? I guess most people would go backward because they want to get rich, probably. You only have to be able to travel backward like 1 second to start eating up all the money. If you could see the future, if you could see in the future 1 second, you could start consuming all the money through, a little algorithm or something. That's it. That's all you'd have to do. Think it's possible? Sometimes I think we are creating the future. Well, I guess that is true that we are. Do we also create the past? Does the past change? Oh, God. It's hard to think about so many things all the time. Torture, really. Yeah, but I'm glad I have you guys talk to about it. I'm sure you're thinking about it too. I think I would go forward. I'm prepared. I'm like done with this time. I'm bored, pretty much. I'm like, nah, I get it. You know, I'm excited about things that are going to happen. I'd like to see them while I still have some hair left. Forward. All right, people are tuning out. Let me show you. What do you guys want to see? I'll show you the proof that Trump got credit for the Netanyahu stuff. I told you he put out that video. They're saying it's really that he pressured Israel into doing it, even though he threatened that all hell would break loose and Hamas might be scared. I guess it was Israel who came around. It took a deal they didn't like. They have to release hostages too. So they're going to release hostages. Something like women and children first, and then men over 55 or something. They're doing some kind of, and then soldiers after that. They're going to keep soldiers the longest. And I heard something, I don't know whether it was true, something about the Israelis offering like a 30-to-1 exchange for female soldiers, something like that. So here's the news. I'll show you. Arab officials say Trump envoy swayed Netanyahu more in one meeting than Biden did all year. So that's in the Israeli news, Times of Israel. So Times of Israel said that. Then a guy came on CNN to say that Trump was the game changer. So I'll show you that.
Biden presented a deal like this in May. So what's your take on what got us to this moment?
Well, tragically, the deal could have been made or struck in March, again in May, and it was rehashed or rekindled in July and in August, and Mr. Netanyahu refused. I mean, Hamas wasn't very helpful, let's be honest, but it was Mr. Netanyahu ultimately that rejected the deal. At the time, he wanted to prolong the war for political reasons. Going into the summer, he said, I should wait for the American election, see what transpires. Once President Trump was elected and became president-elect, Netanyahu sets a date, the 20th of January, inauguration date. And he extended the war for no apparent reason, for no utility, for no tangible or attainable goals for months. And so if you're asking what the game changer was, what the reason that brought him to say yes now, as opposed to the many resisting no's in previous months, it was the Donald Trump factor. It's not that Trump pressured him, it's that he's afraid of the unpredictability and transactionality of Trump that Trump is known for, that caused him to say, I better get on his good side and I should do this now.
It's great. Being unpredictable is like a great character trait sometimes in negotiations. It's one of the things you're supposed to like with poker. If you're like a real professional, people have to think you're a little crazy. So it's good to do things sometimes that are a little crazy. So people, you're unpredictable. That's how Trump is. So now he's like, fuck it. I don't want to deal with it. So that's good. Trump is the right man for the job. I'm pretty sure. He just doesn't care as much as most people do about like offending people, because I guess he already did it to the maximum. So now it's like no big thing. He put out that video where the guy said, Netanyahu's like a deep, dark bastard. That was pretty serious. So anyway, one stage, then there's going to be 2 stages, 3 stages, different levels, something like 6 weeks. But if they're negotiating at the end of the time period, it extends automatically. But nothing changes. Nothing's like better for Gaza than before October 7th. So apparently they're recruiting well. Hamas is. That's what they say. That's what our government says. Hamas is recruiting well, that they replaced most of their dead people. With new recruits who are just mad at Israel because they bombed the shit out of everybody. So no talk about a 2-state solution. I'm pretty convinced Trump is going to go for a 1-state solution in the end and just give it all to Israel based on who he appointed, based on him appointing Huckabee as the, what do you call it? The guy who works in the embassy, the diplomat. Can't remember. So yeah, Huckabee says it's always been Israel. So I think he's going to go for 1 state in the end. But good news. Got Israel to agree to something. That's good. So, and they're giving him credit, except for Biden. Biden took credit himself. I'm showing you the stuff where they say that actually it was Trump's people. Trump said a week ago or so that all hell would break loose if the hostages weren't freed. But it's definitely not all the hostages. All right, this is the State Department just saying that Trump's people were involved.
When it comes to the involvement of President-elect Trump's team, it's been absolutely critical in getting this deal over the line. And it's been critical because obviously, as I stand here today, this administration's term in office will expire in 5 days. And one of the things that we have always said about this deal is that when you get from stage 1 to stage 2, that the United States, Egypt, and Qatar are the guarantors of this deal. And Egypt and Qatar will push Hamas to stay at the bargaining table and to get from stage 1 to stage 2. And the United States will push Israel to stay at the bargaining table to get from phase 1 and phase 2. So obviously, those are promises we cannot make on behalf of the United States for any longer than the next 5 days. And so it's critical that all of the parties to the agreement and the other mediators see that when the United States is in the room making commitments, those are lasting commitments that extend beyond this administration into the next one. I would just say, lastly, I don't know if it's unprecedented to have envoys from an outgoing and an incoming administration sitting at the same table negotiating a ceasefire agreement of this kind. But if it's not unprecedented, it's certainly unusual. And we, of course, thank the Trump team for working with this on this ceasefire agreement. We think it's important that they were at the table.
There you go. So he admits it. Yeah, I mean, that's the news reports. I tend to believe it. They didn't do anything under Biden. That's what Times of Israel says. Somebody in the chat said that I shouldn't believe the Times of Israel. Sometimes it's good to go to the Jewish news, though, to get their perspective on what's going on with Jewish people. So the wars are ending. If this thing's over, they're already done with Hezbollah. They're done with Iran for now. I don't think Trump wants to go to war with Iran, particularly if he's listening to Dr. Jeffrey Sachs. But it seemed like he might. That was the thing. That's the thing we have to be worried about. Is that Trump will want to bomb Iran or Iran for some reason. Mostly for Israel's sake. So that would be really bad. That would be a bad outcome of the Trump presidency. But otherwise, it's looking good. It's looking positive. He says something nice about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I'll show you that. Trump said this recently, I guess. Somebody's building a Bitcoin mining operation with tiny nuclear reactors. We're going to go into a nuclear age. See, eventually. It's just things take time, you know, it's annoying. It's annoying how long things take sometimes. But we will have many nuclear power plants in the future, which we could have always done, but looks like he's talking about power plants too, but he's also talking about Bitcoin.
This onslaught at lower prices, I'm pledging today that in my second term, we will eliminate a minimum of 10 old regulations for every one new regulation. We'll be able to do that quite easily, actually. And instead of attacking industries of the future, we will embrace them, including making America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin. This onslaught at lower prices, I'm pledging.
Hey, thanks, Tomfoolery. You guys okay if I lean back a little today? I brought the microphone close enough. I hope you can hear me fine. I'm taking a relaxed approach. Thanks, Tomfoolery, who gave me Canadian money. Yeah, I'm worried about Canada. You guys have, like, houses are super. I feel like things are even more expensive there. Like, you couldn't buy, like, how many tacos can you get in Canada? Or do they have to import tacos from Mexico? Do you guys have people who make tacos there? Just wondering how many you can get for $13.99 Canadian. I heard things are like, I heard real estate's a lot there, like just insane considering it's really cold. I mean, the weather sucks for compared to down here. I just can't believe people live in that cold, dark stuff. They choose it. I mean, Vancouver's pretty cool, I think. But, and they had, like, I remember you could get good weed from Canada back in the day, from British Columbia on the West Coast. They used to bring in the good weed, but now it's all legal. Thanks, Tom Fuller. He says, here's more taco money. It's Canadian money, so it's not worth much. Don't spend the money on tacos yet. Wait until we become the 51st state. It'll be worth a lot more later. How are they going to do that? Montreal is cool. Devotee says that's true. It is cool there. So yeah, no, I'm not. I take it back. It's not that bad. Montreal is cool. All right, so I played you Donald Trump talking about cryptocurrency. I told you that the price of cryptocurrency is up. You want to see some? Okay, so there have been 3 confirmation hearings so far in the committees. And then I think they have to sit through, I'm not sure, but they might have to sit through the entire Senate, all asking them questions, 100 people. That would take forever. Wonder how much time they get. These things, they got 7 minutes each to put on their show. It's pretty predictable. The way that I listened to it. The confirmation here with Pete Hegseth. It's like they alternate teams. It's like Democrat, Republican. And it's like the Democrat just talks shit about him. They'll say, oh, thank you for your service. You know, just to like, and then they'll really criticize him for something. They say he was drunk. I mean, I kind of believe it. That's the thing. He wouldn't even deny many of the claims made against him. So, but he says he loves Jesus, and he said he's going to quit drinking. That's not a good sign either for an alcoholic, which I guess he kind of maybe is. Is that you'll quit if you get the job, you know. You should already quit, probably. if you have a drinking problem. But then this guy said they criticized him for drinking and cheating on his wife. Actually, so I'll skip to this clip. So they criticized him for drinking and cheating on his wife. And this Republican said this.
You know, there's a lot of talk going about talking about qualifications and then about us hiring him if we are the board. But there's a lot of senators here I wouldn't have on my board because there is no qualifications except your age, and you got to be living in the state and you're a citizen of the United States to be a senator. Other than the fact we got to convince a lot of people to vote for us. And then when we start talking about qualifications for if you're qualified for it, could the chairman tell me what the qualifications are for the Secretary of Defense? Mr. Chairman, could you tell me what the qualifications are for the Secretary of Defense?
I'd be happy
I'll read it
for you to do that. Yeah.
Let me read it for you because I
was getting some advice from
I
my second in command.
Yeah, but I'm just making a point because there's a lot about qualifications. And I think it's so hypocritical of senators, especially on the other side of the aisle, be talking about his qualifications, not going to lead the secretary or be the Secretary of Defense, and yet your qualifications aren't any better. You guys aren't any more qualified to be the senator than I'm qualified to be the senator, except we're lucky enough to be here. But let me read you what the qualifications of the Secretary of Defense is, because I Googled it and went through a lot of different sites, and really it's hard to see. But in general, the U.S. Secretary of Defense position is filled by a civilian. That's it. If you have served in the U.S. Army Forces and have been in the service for, you have to be retired for at least 7 years, and Congress can weigh that. And then there's questions that the senator from Massachusetts brought up about serving on a board inside the military industry, and yet your own secretary that you all voted for, Secretary Austin, we had to vote on a waiver because he stepped off the board of Raytheon. But I guess that's okay because that's a Democrat Secretary of Defense. But we so quickly forget about that. And then Senator Kane, or I guess I better use the senator from Virginia, starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down? No. But it's for show. You guys make sure you make a big show and point out the hypocrisy because the man's made a mistake. And you want to sit there and say that he's not qualified? Give me a joke. I mean, it is so ridiculous that you guys hold yourself as this higher standard and you forget you got a big plank in your eye. We've all made mistakes. I've made mistakes. And Jennifer, thank you for loving him through that mistake. Because the only reason why I'm here and not in prison is because my wife loved me too. I have changed, but I'm not perfect. But I found somebody that thought I was perfect. And for whatever reason, you love Pete, and I don't know why. But just like our Lord and Savior forgave me, my wife's had to forgive me more than once too, and I'm sure you've had to forgive him too. And so thank you.
So, yeah. He's like, well, you guys show up drunk. It's true, kind of. They're like, you're going to be on the job 24 hours a day, which means you can never drink. I don't think they expect that of everybody. Like, people don't have a drinking problem. How old is Pete Hegseth? He's pretty young, huh? It must be a little uncomfortable being his wife and stuff. So he was with his second wife, but he had just had a baby from his third wife. So I guess he was already cheating on his second wife with this lady he had a baby with. And then he slept with this lady at some party. And then she accused him of sexual assault because I think because she didn't want to say she cheated on her husband, probably. Because she was cheating too. So I think in order to say that it wasn't cheating, she said she was sexually assaulted or something. And also maybe because she gets some money from him. Yeah. But she did. So yeah. People aren't perfect though. I mean, Jesus, they used to be way worse. The press used to just cover up for people, which I can't believe. They just covered up for JFK and RFK with all those women. They were really womenizers back then. And I think RFK Jr. had his period too. Okay, so this is from the Pete Hegseth thing. This is what people said was Pete dunking on Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas.
You're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. You're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
But actually, it's a fair point. He says that generals, he's going to change it so generals can't take jobs in the defense industry right away, not for 10 years. But then he's not saying he won't do that. So, God, getting the government, it's kind of crazy. The government thing is kind of crazy. Like, you do get paid in the end. Or right away, depending on how crooked you are. But eventually you get paid after you work in the government, if you're high up, because you get like contracting work. Or you sit on boards and stuff. Just get loot thrown at you for your contacts. But then again, you want people, well, politics is really fucked up. I don't know if it's the best system. All right, here's a compilation of the women screaming at Hegseth about various things.
Yes, organizations help our veterans get every damn thing that they deserve because they signed on the dotted line.
But you know what? They really made him go back on no women in combat, which he's probably kind of right about. There are probably a few women, but very few, who can pass the same physical tests as the men. But maybe, I mean, should they be in there though? I don't know. Because then it's bad because you get all the sexual assault stuff too. Which, I mean, you know, you shouldn't take that as a reason that you can't be in the military because you're going to get raped, because you probably shouldn't get raped by U.S. soldiers, but it does happen. Do they let women on submarines now? Definitely used to be all men on submarines before. Would you want to live on a submarine? Gosh. How long do you think they have to stay down there? I bet they have internet though now. All right. So that's from the Pete Hegseth hearings. Then I think I have some clips. Let's close this. Okay. Wow, that's insane. Tomfoolery. Thanks, tomfoolery. I know, even though your currency isn't that great, that's a lot of Canadian dollars. Thank you. I'll read your whole comment too. It's long. Let's see. $69.99. Wow. Why do you thinking it is? All right. Why do you think it is that people in the truth movement have no money and expect the truth to be free. Great content, yet you make no money. I was watching Fight the Flat Earth stream, and the normies were sending donation after donation. Thanks, Tom Fleury. Yeah. It's hard to know, Tom Fleury. People have some money. It comes sometimes. But we don't have like a huge fight the flat earth. Are people actively fighting the flat earth now? And that's a genre. I mean, I could have been on that side. But then I saw the moon landing and I was like, the moon landing is totally fake. I feel like Elon Musk was pointing that out today with something he posted. But yeah, it can't be free. I mean, I have to get a job. Like, I'm about to get a job again. And then I might not stream as much. But we do sell some t-shirts sometimes. We have some great t-shirts. They're a great deal right now. Truthclothing.io. I'll put that banner up. Make sure to check that out. Thanks, Tom Fleury. Fighting the power. Yeah, we could use more, if we wanted to be full-time truthers. But that moment is past. Things are different. All right, I have some news about I have this Tourette's video, which is pretty fun. I was going to show you more of this. That's right. Hearings. Pam Bondi. Wow, Tom Fleury is rolling in it today. Oh, my mouse stopped working. Did it actually die? I'll highlight your chat. Thanks, Tom Fleury. I hope that's charging. Why wasn't it charging before? We're having a minor issue. I gotta figure out how to work my mouse. I have it plugged in. I'll try a different cable. Let's see if that one works. Okay, great. We're back. We're up and running. Thanks, Tom Fleury. Says it's a channel to make fun of flat earthers. Yeah, Jaron had 3 times as many people tuned in and didn't get any super chats. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame we're not all rich. It's a shame in many ways that we all have to grind, to make money. But like I said, maybe we're not here for that reason, So we're investing in other ways. We get Bitcoin. We get rewarded for that. Thanks, Tom Fleury. Thanks for making my day. You're the man. All right, here's Pam Bondi telling Adam Schiff off. Adam Schiff, who is my senator,
has called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate.
But the president has
We're
called,
also worried about Liz Cheney,
the
Senator.
president has
You know what
called
we
for
should
this.
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi,
The
please
crime rate
answer
in
my
California
questions.
right now
You are
is
aware,
through the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
Your robberies
Ms.
are
Bondi,
87% higher than the national
question
average.
is this.
That's what I
My
want to
question
be
is
focused
this.
on, Senator.
Do you have the
if I'm
power to
confirmed
say
as
no to the
Attorney
president?
General.
And what you're suggesting today by your non-answer is you don't have the independence to say no to the president. So let me ask you a different question. It also requires you, if you're going to be a good attorney general, to be able to tell hard truths to the president. So my questions now are, can you tell hard truths to the president? So let me start with an easy truth that you could speak to the president. Can you tell him that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election? Can you say that? Do you have the independence to say that? Do you have the gravitas, the stature, the intestinal fortitude to say, Donald Trump, you lost the 2020 election? Can you tell us that here today?
Senator, what I can tell you is I will never play politics. You're trying to engage me in a gotcha. I
No,
won't
I'm just
do it.
asking a simple
I
question.
won't play
If you can
politics
speak truth
with any
to
ongoing
power. So let me ask
investigation,
you another.
like you did
let
leaking
me
your
let me ask
colleague
you,
Devin Nunes's
if,
memo.
if you'd be able to
Ongoing
review
investigation.
hundreds of cases on day one,
I will look at every file I am
of course
asked
you
to
won't.
look
So
at.
will you advise the
Hey,
president?
can I
will
answer
you-
the question?
Well, my question
I
is,
would have plenty of staff. You said, of course you want.
you'll be able to review
Listen, I'm
hundreds
not
of
going to
cases on the first day?
mislead this body nor you.
All right, let me ask another question. You don't want to answer that. Let me ask
You were
another question.
censured by
It will
Congress, Senator,
also-
for
it will
comments just
also-
like this that
it
are
will
so reckless.
It will also be important.
Yeah, she gave it to him a little bit. I had another clip. Oh, this. I had another clip that may be altered from the same hearing. Oops, sound cut out. Okay. All right, here we go. So here is another clip of the same thing.
So let me start with one very specific non-hypothetical. The president has said that my head looks like a watermelon. Will you commit to making him stop?
Senator, I feel for you. I really do. But I can't commit to making President Trump stop calling you watermelon head because, to be honest, your head does look like a fucking watermelon. I mean, damn. And how do you even hold that thing straight with that tiny little pencil neck?
So let me start with one very...
And that may be altered. Yeah, it might be. Watermelon head. I didn't even know Trump was calling him that. Thanks, Snoring in the Valley. Jeez, people are nice today. $10 super chat. It says, is the $10,000 offer to get Owen Benjamin to take an IQ test still on the table? It should be because he would never do it. 80 IQ at best. Yeah, 10,000. I think so. Yeah. And we both put up that much in the winner of the IQ test. Although I don't know. I feel like something sapped my brain powers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm as smart, but I'd have to see if the results I have, because the IQ test is supposed to be good forever. I have one from when I was like 8 or whatever, when the government comes in and looks for the eggheads. I would just submit those results. But yeah, I don't know if I really don't know. I think I have brain damage. I think I really do have brain damage, possibly. But I would still challenge him. I would still do it because he says he's really smart. But I don't care that much about Owen Benjamin anymore. That's all. It's not really in the news. Nobody's talking about him. I have no beef with him necessarily, really. I wish him the best. Yeah, look at Pirate Justin. Wow. Owen who? How easily people get forgotten. He's on Rumble still. I still get notifications. He's on Rumble. He's on Rockfin. I think he was having people mail him money before, and silver and stuff too. It's pretty cool when people send you silver, though. That is cool. Silver's doing okay right now. Silver and gold are both doing well. Okay, watermelon head. So check out Bill Burr, who says LA did a great job handling the fires on the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
It's very good to see you. I heard you had to evacuate your home.
Yes. Like most people, I had to. I got lucky, the winds moved, but the fire was coming and all that stuff. So I feel lucky.
Are you guys back in?
And I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
Unlike the internet,
Yeah, right. I know. It's right.
Oh my God. All of these fire experts. Why didn't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean and then just, I don't know, because there was 100-knot winds? You want to do that? You want to do that at night, you lunatic?
How are you?
This was definitely mismanaged.
That's a big word we're hearing now.
Mismanaged, like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in LA, sitting there in his underwear. You know what? Looking at the footage on the internet, I have determined that this here was mismanaged. Oh.
So yeah, he's taking the side of the establishment, which is kind of a weird thing for a comedian to do in general. He's like, oh yeah, the authorities did great. But you're supposed to support fire people and first responders. You want to be supportive, support our troops out there. There's just no way to know. There's just no way to know, unfortunately, how much better it would have been if it were managed better. You can't say managed properly because nothing's ever managed 100%, but better. If we were under better management, what would it have done under those conditions? Wow, excuse me, I had to sneeze. Sorry, I had to mute myself, but I thought it was preferable to have silence over the sneezing. So yeah, that's Bill Burr. He's like, oh yeah, they did great. No, but then Megyn Kelly is saying her friends are all going to vote Republican next time because it was so bad. I heard fire trucks didn't show up in the Palisades for like 45 minutes at least. So, and then they didn't have water, which they should have had, but they were doing some kind of maintenance on it, right on the reservoir.
My friend who lives in California, whose house burned, this is my one woke friend. I love this woman dearly, but she's woke. And amazingly, we've maintained our friendship. We kind of just don't talk about these subjects much, but she's woke. And she's like, MK, everyone I know is ready to vote Republican. She's like, everyone I know, all of her woke friends, all of her Dem friends. She was like, we're all talking about how soon we can get Republican leadership into these offices. I mean, that is saying something. My friend who lives in California, whose house burned.
That's it. So she says her friend says everybody's voting Republican next time. So we'll see. California's definitely becoming more Republican. I mean, the whole country is. But I'm curious how it'll be after Trump. But if the predictions that the Democrats made come true, maybe we won't have to worry about after Trump. Like he will be president for eternity. You notice how the presidency didn't age Trump? I think that's interesting. Normally, a presidency really ages a person. Like you look at Obama, but Trump pretty much looks the same. Like he's ageless. I think the Diet Coke might have like formaldehyde in it that's keeping him preserved. He got some kind of award from Coca-Cola today for drinking. Commemorative Diet Coke can. A commemorative Diet Coke from Coca-Cola today. Which I think can kill you. I used to drink like 12 of those a day, at least. It was insane. I have an addictive personality, though, unfortunately. Okay. Okay. This happened where James O'Keefe got some hidden video of somebody who works with the Pentagon talking about attending a meeting trying to stop Trump. So people are talking about this.
And I work at this top consulting firm, and my client is the Pentagon. So I'm embedded in the Pentagon. I work in the Joint Staff, which is the top military command. Once she lost, I went into the intelligence community and I became an FBI special agent. So I became a spy hunter. So I was a counterintelligence agent, special agent at the FBI.
What's your like overall assessment of Trump?
He's a sociopathic narcissist who is only interested in advancing his name, his wealth, and his fame.
Is there anything you can do to like protect American people from stuff that he might try to do?
I'm in conversation with a couple of retired generals to try to explore what we can do.
Who were the retired generals that you were going to talk to?
They're like 1, 2, or 3-star generals and admirals. You probably know maybe 4 stars. So I also have a big day tomorrow, probably the biggest day of all. So we have this huge meeting with military leaders in a very secure room called the Tank.
Ooh.
So we have a tank meeting with like all of the top leaders in the United States military tomorrow on my topic that I prepared.
So it went well.
I think it went well. It's very sensitive information. We're gonna have to keep it between us. I specialize in artificial intelligence and emerging technologies like quantum, cybersecurity. Yeah.
What's quantum? I haven't heard of it.
Quantum is incredibly fast supercomputing that doesn't yet exist but will soon exist. And when it does, it will change everything.
Hegseth.
Hegseth. Yeah.
Hegseth. Who's that?
Secretary.
All right. Anyway. So the news item in there was that he said he was meeting with some generals, 1, 2, 3-star, not 4-star generals. But that sounds like it could be kind of minor. He's like, I'm a spy hunter. That's kind of cool, right? Tell some young lady. Yeah, I'm in counterintelligence. I set people up. I give people money to commit terrorist activities and then arrest them for it. I find people who are mentally ill or otherwise disturbed, and then we coach them, and then eventually we arrest them, and usually they're in possession of materials which we gave them money for, and then we sold to them. So that'd be pretty funny if you said that to somebody on a date. She's like, wow, that sounds really dangerous. You're a real patriot, sir. Let me have sex with you. Those FBI guys got it easy. So anyway, yeah, he says they're trying to stop Trump. I mean, there are still people doing that, but what are you going to do? He's unstoppable at this point. Trump and Emperor Musk. Ramaswamy totally shut up. I have another clip for you that's very relevant about a new TV show. This is going to be a new TV show on TLC. I've heard that Tourette's can actually be, that you can actually get Tourette's from watching too many TikTok videos of people with Tourette's. Oops, what the hell? That's not the person. So this is a TV show that's coming out.
Tap that wiener, tap the rotisserie chicken. And scene. Off. My name is Balin. I'm 21 years old and I have Tourette syndrome. In a little baby weenie. Spotted alone in a safari. An itchy baby weenie. Sorry, I'm excited. Off. Off. Tourette syndrome is a neurological, involuntary motor and vocal disorder that is chronic. Chronic dick. Slap that wiener. Wrap that wiener. Tap that wiener. Tourette syndrome causes me to have tics, and tics are sudden twitches, sounds, or movements that I do repetitively. Stupid. When I get the urge to tic, it feels like my skin is crawling and it's very, very itchy. After I do the tic or release the tic, the urge goes away. My tics can come from anything. Anything I see, hear, smell, think about, make it wobble. Make it wobble. Make it wobble. Like that, because I'm thinking about that. I'm trying not to look at him. Try not to look at him. Because every time I see a bald person, I have to tell them that they're bald. So, you're bald. The most random things can become a tic. Or tics. Tourette syndrome, stupid.
Sorry, I said it was relevant. It's not. I do think entertainment can be strange sometimes. Very funny tics. She has very funny tics. They're not always that funny. And then, like Spaldo pointed out, it's convenient that she doesn't just say the N-word. That's what a lot of people say who have tics. They like to say things that are inappropriate, like cunt and stuff like that. You just have to get it out, you know? Sometimes you have to let the demons out. Maybe they're actually better at it. Maybe all of us are ticking somehow, but our tics are more harmful. Sometimes it's good to let that energy out into the world. Here's a sign of the apocalypse to wrap up the show. Yeah, this apparently is from January 14th, and today's the 15th.
I have no idea what's going on, but listen to this. There's something under the ground, and it sounds like it's about to bust out. Holy crap. It's over here in the field.
And then some people said there were some booms around the fires too. We're looking for the signs. They say there will be signs. We're here to look for the signs. So we'll keep looking. All right. Cool. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the donos today. It's really nice. I didn't even set a goal, but we much surpassed it. Thank you. Thank you, Tomfoolery in particular, but also Snoring in the Valley. Appreciate you guys. All right. Well, I hope everybody's staying safe from fires. And we're getting through it. I mean, we're halfway through the month already into 2025. We're still here. So we're doing it actively. So I'll try to be back tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. You guys are cool. And we'll see you next time. For now, that's what it is.